Welcome back to Nice Girls Don't Win. I'm your host, Parvati Shallow, joined with my very sexy cowgirl co-host,
Amy Bean.
We're so excited because today we have Survivor royalty from Down Under.
Okay, so we listened, and we got Shonee
Bowtell from Australian Survivor because you guys told us you wanted her. So we are giving the people what they want. And also, Shawnee's so rad. She's hot, she's funny, she's fashionable, and she's a Survivor goddess from Australia.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to talk to her.
Can't wait to talk to her, but oh my
But
God,
we also are home at my house. This is a late night.
LA. We're back in LA finally. We've had a long week. We took the girls on spring break, and I feel like we had spring break without the break because we were full time on.
There were so many children.
It was fun. Yeah,
there's children still here now today because it's nighttime, and we are bringing this podcast to you guys because we love doing this. We also are committed and devoted to this, and my daughter's here. I don't have a babysitter, so if you're a working mom, you make it work.
You make it work. And tonight,
so we have to record
tonight because Shawnee's in Australia, so we had to figure out the math. And
I know there's like extra days and time zones.
Yeah. But like we said, we want to get it weekly to you, so we are doing that.
Derek's on the road in Michigan. I don't even know he was on a bus.
But Sam's here.
Sam's here.
We're making it work. And this is going out to you guys.
Where are we? What's happening?
I know.
But we just came back from a Hulu event, too, with our besties, James and Taylor from the White Lotus, who were on our last episode last week. If you guys missed that episode.
The Hulu event was pretty cool, though.
You need to watch it.
It was like they kind of released a bunch of new shows for us. We've heard about the Call Her Daddy show that's coming out. We know that the Golden Bachelor is going to Paradise. But the Hulu event kind of like had all these stars there, and everybody was kind of showcasing their new shows. We had the Kardashians there. We actually had like Scott and Chloe that were there. So that was fun.
But also, remember who got our valet. It's all posted up on our Instagram story, which you can catch for 24 hot hours on Nice Girls Don't Win
Spencer
Instagram.
Pratt was there.
Spencer Pratt got our valet at the end of the day. It was a valet guy who looked just like him. Basically was him.
Yeah. No, but Heidi Montag was there. It was a fun event.
It was fun.
I'm tired. I need a nap. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I've been going.
You have. And also Amy's husband. So Amy, one thing I didn't know I loved about Amy is that she's so good at driving. She drove us for 5.5 hours straight from LA to Jenner to this little cottage, ghosty town that we stayed in for spring break and didn't complain. Like, just nailed it. Just drove us back from this Hulu event, just got us here. I love a woman who takes charge like that. It makes me feel safe.
The White Lotus, the reason why we had that, like, the loading dock incident was because I felt like I needed to drive. Like,
what's that about?
I don't know. I grew up in Northern California, and I went to school in Cuesta in San Luis Obispo, and then I went to San Diego, down in San Diego, so I would drive all the time back to Stockton, where I'm from.
That's a long drive. How many hours?
All the time. Yeah, because
10 hours?
It was like 7 sometimes, and I would just pop in the car and drive, so I can get up and down.
But also
California.
The best part about it is Amy drives a Honda Odyssey. And if you don't know about
the
this
nicest car I've ever had.
This is the Rolls Royce of minivans, okay? Our 2 kids were in the back seat, way back. I'm not talking right behind us. Like, I'm talking rows back. Yeah. Oh, it was like a bus that we were driving. We were cruising. Like,
it's comfortable for all.
Oh, my God.
Bucket seats for the littles in the front.
But you're not alone with the Honda Odyssey love because Rob Mariano, Boston Rob, Tyson Apostle have raved about this Honda Odyssey so much that I know what it is because I don't drive a minivan. And as soon as I got in the car, I was like, this is legit.
I've got the Sport,
If
too.
you have kids and you're going to ever drive them, ever, anywhere, you need this car. I'm just saying. We're not sponsored by Honda Odyssey, but we should be.
I have no ego for this. Like, all of our friends, like Nick's friends that would never be caught dead in a minivan, were like, please don't get a minivan. I'm like, I'm getting a mini. I don't care. My kids can't open their own doors. They hit every door as they get out. Like, these doors slide. We're not hitting doors. It is a luxury vehicle. Except for I was so pissed, by the way. I was so excited. I'm like, oh, I got the minivan with the vacuum in the back.
Sorry, what?
Yes.
Excuse me?
Honda
It has its own
minivans have
vacuum?
vacuums in the back.
What?
I was searching. I hit my friend up. I'm like, where's the vacuum? She's like, on the right side. I'm literally like throwing things. I'm like, I don't have the vacuum. And we have this Sport, and the Sport doesn't come with a vacuum.
Okay,
I'm
send
like,
it back. Take
it.
it back.
Thank you.
Return to sender. You need the vacuum. Well, I
Regardless.
didn't ride back in the Odyssey.
I know.
Unfortunately, because I missed it so much. Because my daughter was too close. At the end of the day, she was asking me for stuff, complaining about things.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so my husband and the two babies,
They
they
were all
met us.
sick.
They were sick. So Barbie's like, I can't be stuck in the car. She's like, I have a big week. My kids are not getting sick. For some reason, I never get sick. My husband's now sick. The two babies are sick. Blake is not sick. I don't get sick. But you did yourself a favor by not riding back with us. But we all came back we got back at like 10 p.m. at night.
Yeah. So we needed to set this up for you guys because we care.
Yeah.
We love you.
Okay, well,
But also Sam is a hero. Sam was like filming. What were you filming? He's doing a Western. It's a show called Elkhorn. Okay, we have the
He's an
most
actor.
handsome camera
Let me
operator
get a photo of him.
named Sam. We're going to get a photo and we're going to post it on our Instagram because you should see this guy. And he was filming today and he's like, oh, sorry, guys. I'm not going to be able to make it there for camera operating. You're on your own. And we're like, okay, we think we can make it work. And then all of a sudden, Sam's like heroically with a soundtrack. And it's like, bum, ba, da, bum, ba, ba, I can be there. And then he beat us here by an hour. I feel so grateful to you, Sam. We're indebted.
I'm thankful for our team. We have a great team here.
We have the best team.
This
and look
is
at
going
Derek
out to
looking
you
so
guys
cute on
first
our
thing in the
stream
morning, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get Shonee on right away because I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. But we obviously need to get paid by Honda Odyssey for that ad we just did for 10 minutes.
Okay, bring her in. I'm excited to talk with my bombshell blondie, my fellow blonde.
Okay, let's go. Let's bring her in. Shonee, Survivor Royalty, mother, capital MOTHER, is joining us. Gorgeous.
Such a starlet.
Oh, you're so hot.
Thank you for doing this with us. It's so funny. All of our
Listeners.
the listeners, they comment. They're like, "We want Shonee," and I was like,
I love how Amy says your name. She says Shonee, like it's a
Shonee.
party.
I looked at your Instagram and I'm like, she is my type of girl. You're like whimsical, beachy, cute, free people. Like, I don't know. I'm like into you.
Amy has a crush on you, and she's not into women.
Thanks.
My blonde.
That's what we needed.
Bombshell.
We needed her sharp.
Sharp and ready.
Sharp and ready.
It is morning for you. So it is, we're not so sharp and ready.
It's not morning for us. We just went to an event and we're like a little kind of haggard. My daughter just attacked me coming in the house. She wouldn't let me go. This is coming for you. You have a little babe who's only not even a full
16
year.
months.
No.
16 months.
I'm a super fan now, so I know everything about you.
Oh my God. I know. I sent
He's
Amy that
so
video
cute.
that you posted where your psychic told you that you were going to meet this guy and you're going to have a baby boy. And this guy was going to be a surfer and he was going to put the baby on the surfboard.
Oh, the video
I
I
And
cried.
you completely manifested that.
We'll
and
put it
happened.
on.
I
We'll
was
put it
so
on our
glad.
Instagram. But Shonee, tell me about how you met this guy, this dream guy. I feel like, yeah, I'm
I'm
like, this
obsessed.
is a fairy tale.
Parvati knows how obsessed I am.
I know. We talked about this on the island.
So I met him basically through Survivor. Because I had never won before. I just like kept on going back and back and back. And I'm so glad that I never won because I met him. So he was watching TV and he was watching this news show called The Project. And I was doing like a live segment with them, which was literally like the scariest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life. And then 1 year before, I saw his photo online. I sent it to my best friend and I was like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
And
she
then
just you just
messages
randomly
me.
saw the photo. Okay. This is where I'm like, explain more because she just randomly saw the photo on Instagram, right?
I believe
Yes.
in making like the world work for you, and you put it out there. You just said it.
Yeah.
He came to you. Okay, finish the story. I'm so
So I
excited.
was like, I love this guy. And then in November, I wrote like a list of what I wanted in a partner, and he is like literally everything. But anyway, so he sent me a DM because I followed him a couple of months before, and he said, "You look cute on TV." And then I replied and said, "I look cuter after a shower, baby," with like a little scrubbing
Yeah.
brush emoji.
Yeah, cute.
You're
And then,
winning.
Like hot, but
yeah.
not too
Mm.
forward.
So,
And then
okay.
yeah, he came to like he lived 3 hours away from me. And I was like, "Do you ever come to Noosa?" He's like, "Well, to see you, I would." And then so I was like, "Okay, perfect. I'm free from like 10 till 5 because like, I don't know this guy. I'm not gonna be inviting. Like, I just want a ending time."
Yeah.
So he was coming over, and on the movie Clueless, where she's like, "If you ever have a guy come over, you need to have something baking."
Oh my
You're like,
God,
okay.
this is really
You're like
funny.
tips from Alicia
What did
Silverstone.
you
Okay.
put
Yeah.
in the oven?
So I went to the shops because I'd never baked before. So I bought a Donna Hay packet mix of banana bread, and
You're
I had to
winning.
buy the tin as well because I'd literally never baked. Anyway, and then it's
Wait, was
like
this a
10
pre-made
a.m.
loaf of bread?
Yes. It was like a pre-packaged
Genius.
thing. I did
She's
have
like,
to
but I
add
bake.
the
Yeah.
eggs and the milk and bake it, but
Okay.
I like buried that packet mix like deep inside my
Yeah, don't
bin. I was
fuck
like,
around with letting him find
this is
that
the
box.
secret no
She's
one's
like,
gonna
this is
see.
my
She's like,
husband.
I
need
chopped this
to.
banana myself.
Yeah. And then he like waltzes in. He's like, "Wow, it smells so good in here." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I always do some baking on a Saturday."
Shonee!
And
Yes,
then I was
create the
like,
life you want.
"Yeah, you know what? Moving forward, he's never going to be able to smell a banana bread without thinking of me." But
That's so smart. That's why you're
You're
so
like,
good at
yeah,
Survivor. You know what lodges into sense memory.
but can we just talk about
yeah,
like, I think that the internet is so useful for dating. So, one of my best friends, she moved from LA to Arizona and she's like, how am I ever going to find a guy in Arizona? So,
mm,
what she did was she like put the hashtag in Phoenix, Arizona, and she checked out all the people that have ever hashtagged Phoenix, Arizona and found a guy that she thought was cute. Guess what? Married with 3
This is
kids.
Courtney
Yeah.
from The
perfect.
I
Bachelor,
know.
who
My
helped us
friend
set
from
up
The
our
Bachelor.
podcast.
Yes, we're
I know
going to get her on
exactly what
here.
you're talking about. Strategic women
Yes,
know how to play this game.
And
bake the banana bread.
look at you.
Bake the banana
And a
bread because
baby
it
later.
worked. Okay,
But
so wait,
Yeah,
what happened? So he first of all drove 3 hours
yes,
for your first
well, they're
date.
together ever since. But I feel
yeah,
like
But
you're
that's insane. Actually, I'm sorry. I live in LA. So in LA, you have a neighborhood. If you live in the West Side, you will never, if you date someone from the East Side, it's
mm,
like you live in a different country. And those relationships are like Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed. People will die. They're
yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I can't cross the
I
You
405.
got to do that
know.
mind magic to get them to lure them over.
But wait,
Yes.
listen, I've talked to David, who's our friend from Deal or No Deal Island. You know him from obviously
Yeah.
playing Survivor Australia. You guys played All Stars together, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so I don't know about your history there, but he did mention to me a little bit about your past, which I think is pretty interesting because you and Parvati, I feel like on the internet have sort of the same archetype as like being these social
People
game
call
players.
Shonee and I like we're
Mother.
like mirror images of each other.
What did you say?
Mother. I'm like, I
Yeah, we're
don't even
mother.
100% know what they mean by that, but I'm like, mother.
I think I'm grandmother now.
Yeah, no.
I'm like grandma.
She's the hot mom.
Mm,
She's a MILF.
yeah.
And you're a MILF. But why do people say that? And like, what is it about your guys' game that makes you mother?
um, yeah, I've like always, people always say like Australian Parvati to me. Or just, I guess because, well, okay, to be honest, I don't watch American Survivor, but I have seen some of your like YouTube shorts. And I think the interesting thing that people think about me is that like I play and I'm not very serious. I'm like I do it in a light-hearted way. And then also like people look at me and think like, "Oh, she won't be able to do that." But then I actually can like doggy paddle and hold my arm out for 2 hours. I can win individual immunities. And I think obviously Parvati is like very strong and
She
can
can tolerate
win
pain.
and
Yeah.
I
That's what
guess like that
mothers
friendly
do.
face.
Yeah,
Actually,
but also you're underselling yourself because you're so sharp. I'm just remembering a conversation that we had on Australian Survivor, and I obviously can't go into detail about it, but it was so brilliant on your part. The way that you were having this conversation, it was seemed so cash and so
Mhm.
chill, but it was so calculated and really, really strategic. And I was like, this girl is like, now I really
Yeah,
get it.
I think
Like,
I know what you're talking about, and we'll confirm after.
yeah, I
so
know.
yeah,
It was
you,
so
let's
good.
tell everybody who's listening. So you two played the what is it?
It's Australian
Australian versus.
Survivor versus the world. Shonee and I were on different tribes to
Woo.
start.
Okay. So you guys played, which is going to air in July,
Yeah.
and we can't really give too
Hopefully, they
much away.
haven't told me a confirmation yet.
We
Should I
don't
take
have
that as
a
my confirmation?
I don't know. I've heard July, late July, early August. I haven't heard of
Yeah.
a specific date, but they did announce it and they at least released a little trailer,
What
which
do
was
we
so
think
cute.
about the lineup of
Wait,
people?
no, can we talk about the trailer because it's so good? Shawnee, it's like it's so cinematic. I love Australian Survivor how they produce the show because it feels like you're watching a movie. And the way it starts off is there's like pilots in a plane and they're like beep bop trying to land the plane and they're like something's on the runway and it's Shawnee clomping across the runway in her Gucci slides her platform Gucci slides to start the game with her frilly socks.
She
She's like, I'm
landed.
here to make some money.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm like, I still need to be paid. It
I gotta
reminds me
make
of
some
like
money.
something like a desperate house, Real Housewives. You know how they have that little slogan at the start?
Wait, do you not have Real Housewives in Australia? Because you should
No,
do
we
that.
do. Yeah, maybe I
Wait,
should.
you really should. You're a
Well,
housewife now. Aren't
I
you
want to
married?
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
what are you
Oh,
doing now?
Oh, wait,
Like,
are you married?
no, I'm not, but I do intend to be married.
Okay, I mean, the intent is probably enough to be a
The
housewife.
intent.
yeah. Maybe, oh,
Yeah,
that's a
for the
good
show.
storyline to see you guys get married on the show. I mean, maybe you
Yeah,
might.
Rob and
Yeah.
Amber did it. You can be the Rob and Amber for Australia.
But I do want to know because, like, you guys are both these social gamers, right? So that's what they say. But in your real life, because it's so funny working with Parvati, I see all these people are like act like she's a gamer outside of real life. Like when I'm on meetings with her and things, people are like, "Oh, Parvati, wow, you're trying to get me right now," and I'm like, "What is going on? Why do people?" think that she's this gamer in real life. Like, do people look at you like that? Like, does your boyfriend think this about you, that you are like this, are you
Mastermind
yeah.
banana bread
No.
baker.
Do people think that you're trying to get them all the time or what?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I definitely get like people in the streets, and it's really funny because they'll just be like, "Oh, Shonee," and like grab my arm, and I'm like, "Who is this person?" So I'm like jumping up, like, "Ah, like I don't know, like who am I about to be attacked by like a random person?" But I guess it's because they've watched me for 8 years, so they feel like they really know me. But in reality, I'm like, I don't know them. So that's why I get like the shock of a lifetime when someone touches me.
Well, how do you respond to that?
Well, actually, one time I met these two guys and they're just talking to me like, "Oh, Shonee, blah, 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 blah. How long you in Noosa for?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, 2 weeks." And I'm like, "How have you guys been anyway?" Like, because I'm obviously thinking that I know these people and I've just forgotten where I've met them.
Yes, all the time that happens to
And
me.
they're like, "Oh, no, you don't actually know us. We just know you from the show."
Good thing they said
Um,
something.
but I always like have a chat and a talk and, you know,
She gets
She's
stuck.
nice. She has a chat.
Yeah, she'll get stuck in these conversations for a long time. And I think it's really sweet and nice. Like, because you guys are actually nice people, like outside of the show and stuff. Um, but I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't want to be famous. I can't imagine being
Too late,
known.
baby.
Nope, I don't want to be. And
You're famous on our podcast.
I cannot
yeah.
imagine having people touching. I would freak out. Like,
Wait, I need to move on to a new topic
oh,
because this
okay.
is very important. I need to know, Shawnee, are you going to keep doing more game shows? Like, would you
So
do?
I was actually meant to film The Traders between after All Stars and before Australia versus the World. And I had like all of my outfits planned. They were amazing. I had like this sparkling, like
Headbands. She does
frilled
headbands.
suit, yeah, headbands. I had like these jackets, just like the best stuff ever. And then it was the day before I was meant to be filming my backstory. And I was like, oh, I feel a bit weird. Maybe I'll take a pregnancy test. And then it
Couldn't go.
obviously came back positive. So I was like, oh, sorry, guys, I can't film tomorrow and I can't film next week.
Live.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
I'm having a baby.
I'm like, congrats.
I know, but you were so excited. Oh my God, that's wild.
So that was, yeah, but after All Stars. And then they were probably pretty off me, to be honest, because I cancelled like really late. But obviously I couldn't, like, I'm having a baby, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Australia versus the World, like Valley was only 4 months old or when they asked me. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm a mum. I'm never going to play Survivor again. But then when they asked me, my partner was like, it's like we can all go and it can be a memory and, it's like work as well. And also like life is for living. Like,
I
do you
know.
really
That's how I
want to
felt.
turn down?
That's how I felt about season 40 when Alma was 10 months old and now she's 6.
I
Now
know.
she's a
She's
big
here right now.
girl.
Now she's
Hi.
6, but it's like if you're asked to go play these games and you can as a mom, I think it's really important to say yes and do the thing that's yours to do because
Yeah.
you have to show that to yourself. I think first and foremost that you still are an independent woman, you're still yourself, you're doing the thing that's meant for you in the world, and then you're showing your kid that look, this is what life is about. Like mama's got to go make
Yeah.
that money.
I'm like, oh, so
I know
it
she
still
is
like
so-
makes me sad to think about it because it was very hard, but everything what Parvati just said is so true. And even like I want to be able to like watch the show with Valley and be like, oh, you were there in Samoa and like it was really hard, but I did it. And yeah, it was but to answer your actual question, I definitely would do like I would love to do traders, but it's discontinued in Australia now.
So you got to come to
And
the
I would
US to do it.
I know I would do other things.
Like
But
a
I
haunted
just
house reality show.
yeah, I just want food and accommodation. Like it's just Survivor is such a hard game to
I'm
play.
the same.
Shonee
I am the
is-
same as you. If I went on a show, I'm like, just feed me. And then I can be
Yeah.
funny and cool and awesome. But other than that, I do not have me without food. I just can't do it.
I know, but you were so cute out there in your little Gucci slides and your little red dress. What kind of outfits
I
did you
know.
prep for traders? Tell us a preview of what we missed.
So I had like these knee-high boots, like this little jacket. I had this robe that had like fluff around it. My outfits were so great. I had the hair accessories, like big clips. Yeah, because in Survivor,
We
in
need
my
those.
second season, everyone's like, why is this girl wearing like giant hair clips on the island? And I'm like, why is an island not a time to accessorize? Like, seems like the perfect time to jazz
Can we
things
talk
up.
an
about
island not a time to
Parvati's
accessorize?
pants that she brought to Australia? Did you ever get to see them?
Yes, of course.
I loved them.
Yes,
Well,
we
I
played
mean,
together.
I don't know. Like you guys were on different tribes. I don't
No,
know
we
if you
saw each
ever
other the
merged.
first challenge.
Oh, first challenge. Got
we
it.
all
Okay.
met up on first challenge.
Yeah.
And these pants, so she's like, Amy, we had filmed Deal or No Deal Island, and then we came back and she's like, oh, I'm leaving again. Meet me at Viore. And she's like, I need to find pants. And I'm like, what are you guys going to bring? I want to know what is like the packing list for Survivor because
It's a good question. It's different for the US and Australia.
okay, so what's it for Australia?
So in Australia, you get 5 items and then you get a day one outfit. So with my day one outfit, I'm always wearing socks because I'm not wasting one of my 5 items to bring a pair of socks in. Like, so I'm like, I'll wear the Gucci slides and the socks
Yeah, it was cute.
Genius.
every time because, yeah, and then I just basically layer. So I'm like wearing togs, swimwear, and then I'm like wearing bike pants, a singlet, a dress,
You're like
a
gonna layer it up on your
jumper.
first outfit.
It was
Smart.
really
Did
smart.
you do that?
That's why I brought the yak sweater, the Mongolian yak sweater that Suri was so jealous of. It was like
Yes.
a knee length, calf length sweater from Quince. I told you about it.
Yeah.
And it was basically a blanket. That's why, because I was
Yeah.
scared. It's so cold at night
It's
and you're freezing at
freezing.
night. And there were the people on my tribe from Quebec and New Zealand were wearing shorts and a tank top. And I was like, is this your first rodeo?
Yeah.
Have you guys
Yeah.
not played Survivor
So
before? You
what
know
does
you're
the
going to
US get to bring? And then when you heard about the 5 items, were you like, oh, this is good or bad compared to
Look, this is not my first time
right?
playing Survivor, so I know you got to push the envelope as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
waited till that. You got to always wait it out. Like, don't give them your outfit right away.
And definitely don't complete the paperwork.
Don't complete the paperwork.
I
Are
don't
you out of
get
your
it.
mind?
Why not? As a producer, I would hate you guys. Why are you not completing the
Because
paperwork?
you don't know, it's the paperwork for the outfits. So they're
Oh,
like,
got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Got it.
no.
Wardrobe's gonna hate
input
you.
this
Okay.
and type this. And I'm like, oh, I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
you
like,
two are
I
the
think I'm going to return these underwear. I'm going to try different ones.
Yeah.
fashionistas.
And then, but also before, so I came back from Deal or No Deal and I had very little time, the shortest window ever. And Australian Survivor has a different process than the US with like physicals and stuff, tests that you have to do physically. So I had to get my Lift Society instructor because I go to this gym that's like a weightlifting gym. I was like, okay, I need to do box jumps and like run around. And then you have to sign off this paperwork. So I had to do that. And I had to go to this like Hollywood doc who signs off for the reality show people, who does the
It's a lot.
EKG. And because you got to get your heart tested and you cannot be pregnant and doing these shows.
No.
You can't. So good thing you just pulled out of Traders. So I'm with the
Definitely.
EKG doc in Hollywood, and she's so funny. She's this little lady named Paula who's like 4 feet tall. She's been doing this since the 1900s, like early 1900s. She has everyone
She's
on her wall.
experienced.
Who has ever
She
been
has
on a
people
TV
on their
show?
wall. Like that's cute.
Everyone, all the pictures. It's like Don Antonio's
It's
restaurant.
like being at a restaurant with in LA. They have like famous people on
She
their walls.
takes the
Black and
photos
white
while the
photographs of Susan
shirt is off.
Sarandon. You know, like I'm like, oh my God, Susan was here. I do my vision test, and this man walks by me, and I'm like, that is one of the most handsome men I've ever seen. It's Josh Duhamel.
Yes, I've heard this. I love him.
Which is Amy's hall pass.
Oh.
But he like looked me in the eye, and I was like, I feel like I know you. But I couldn't figure out who it was. And then I went to like sign out at the end of my test. And Paula comes up and she's like, Josh Duhamel. What about that?
So
I was like,
Shonee, so the reason I got into producing is because I was on The Bachelor years ago, like when I was 22. So I somehow made it from in front of the camera to behind the scenes. Thankfully, I'm not good in front of the camera. But when I got my test back that I was STD free, I was like,
what?
I know.
at
It's always
22,
like,
I'm like, oh my God, this is a big deal. And
you go to the doctors, you're like, yeah, I'm just kidding. Can I just get like all of these STDs? And I'm like, I've been a good girl, but it's
Right.
for a show.
I'm like, I think I've been
It's
good.
for a show. I got to do it for a show, Mom.
No, I appreciate all these tests. I mean, like, please.
How did you
It
get
actually
into
is
Survivor in the
good.
first? You just don't seem like a Survivor girly. How did this happen for you?
So I was living in London and I did not enjoy living in London. It was like, I'm a summer sun girl. It's like, I'm so happy when I'm like, I can go to the beach, lay in the sun, just like be with family and everything like that. So I was in London. It was like dark, cold, and had been raining for what felt like 10 months. And I was very homesick. So I'm like, let me just like watch some Australian reality TV. So I found Survivor. It was season 2. And I just watched it and I was like, you know what? If I had $500,000, I can just move to Australia. I can buy an apartment. And it would just like, I'm going to get skinny. I'll get $500,000 and I'll get a tan. Like why would I not do that? And then I was thinking like, okay, I'm 100% going on this show. And when it was announced that it was contenders versus champion, it meant that instead of like 12 regular people, it was only 6. But I was still like, no, I'm 100% on. I told my friends, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to go on any holidays moving forward from April because I'm filming Survivor. I was like 100%, that was the only option.
You're so good at this. I remember a story you also told me about this. You were a personal assistant and the dog.
Yes,
Okay, tell us that story too, because you're a manifester. And I think
I
it's helpful for people
am.
to
We love
hear
this.
this so they know like you can actually will things into existence that you
Yeah,
want. And if you just are in the right time at the right place and you have an open mind,
yeah.
magic can happen.
Big
So tell
believer.
us more.
Please.
So with that, I was once again in London because I didn't win. And then I'm obsessed with Dalmatians. Like I love them so much. They are the most like exquisite fine specimens. Mwah.
That's me as a dog.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I saw a Dalmatian and I was actually in a bad mood because I was coming back from the osteopath because I had a very sore neck. Anyway, I see this Dalmatian and I'm like, oh my God, stop the Uber. I'm going to go out and ask this guy if I can please like walk his dog for him and I'll do it for free, like just so then I can hang out with the Dalmatian and,
Brings you
you know,
joy. Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
be fun. So
She
I pull
stops her
over.
Uber.
I love this.
I pull over, I'm like, see you later. And then I'm like, excuse me, excuse me. And I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, oh, hi, like, I live over there and where's this dog? Like, I can look after him. I'm not working. And then he was like, well, actually, I work for this guy and he's looking for a PA. Do you want to do that? Like, my wife is recruiting for the role and I think you'd be really good at it. And I was like, who just meets some like insane person that's like stopping a car to talk to you about walking your dog? And then he's like, you'll be good at this job. But I was like, well, I'm actually more interested in the dog situation, but I'll go meet.
You're like, I guess
And
I'll get your dry cleaning.
yeah. So
How
then
much?
I ended up like getting this job working for this like extremely rich man. And we got along great. He actually had another dog. So I would like hang out with that dog, take it to the vet. I would go like do all of his personal shopping for him. So I was basically pretending to be a rich person in London. Like I
This
drive
is real.
around,
Yeah.
not me driving, but I would be like a passenger in a car, like with a dog and like Gucci, Chanel, like all of
These
his
dogs live the
shopping.
best. Yes.
It was really fun. So yeah, if you see your favorite dog, stop the Uber, get out because you just never know where it could lead.
Oh, Shonee,
That is life advice that's worth $1 million.
I was
Yeah.
a dog sitter and for Mike Fleiss, the guy that created The Bachelor, and I used to produce at the same time The Bachelor, and he would drop the Rottweiler off with me while I was producing. So I would have Magic on set with me while I'm producing. And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm sorry, I'm the dog sitter.
Can't
You're like,
stop.
someone control that dog.
I'm
You're
like, but he
"Oh,
also
I'm
runs the
meant to
show.
do
I have
that."
to watch the dog while I'm producing this. I'm really sorry. Magic was the best dog. I'm obsessed with Rottweilers, so I get your infatuation with Dalmatians. Like, I
Next
don't
time
know.
you
It's the
see one.
bet. It's like I love these stories because I feel like when you're young and you're fresh out of college or whatever, and you move to a new place, and this is why I love traveling and I love doing these big reality shows that are out in like another island or continent or something because you just step out of your regular brain
Say yes.
life
Yeah.
pattern and you're in a whole new world and you're just open and available to new connections and ideas and ways of thinking. And then this kind of magic happens. I think we can have that every single day in our lives, but we have
Yeah.
to choose it first thing
And
when we
trust
wake
our
up and walk out of the
intuition.
door.
I think it's like we have to trust our intuition with who we're around and what we say yes to. But I'm a big yes girl. Like I love an
Yeah.
opportunity. I like something to look forward to. I remember when I was younger, I'm like, ooh, I've got that to look forward to. And I'm still that way. I'm like, what's my next thing? Like my husband and I were going on a cruise. So I'm very excited for that. Like, what is it that you guys are looking forward to in the next couple of months? Is there anything for you?
Well, it's my birthday next week. So we're going to stay at like this nice hotel and it has like sand in the pool and fishes and stuff.
Ooh.
So
Sand
definitely
in the
looking forward to
pool.
that. Yeah, it's
Where?
crazy.
In Australia?
Yeah, and the Gold Coast, the JW Marriott. It's
Oh,
like, I
oh,
don't know how
I'll
they've done
see
it.
you there, babe.
Um, but we're doing that, and then we're going to New Zealand in August, and I'm just like so looking forward to finally watching Australia versus the world. I do think that everyone is going to love it so much. It's just even the 1 minute promo that they put out, like it's so funny. It's just like I just love everyone's little sections where Parvati's like, "Oh, these little cute people know what they're doing," and then George is like, "My dad bought," and then I'm like, "Give me the money," and it's just funny
That's
because
so good.
it doesn't. It's more like they're all playing in like a light-hearted, funny way, and I don't know. I just think it's. I know that everyone's gonna love it, but I think it's just gonna be the best season ever. So yeah, definitely
Oh,
looking forward to that.
I completely agree. It's been so long since we
Oh
filmed
my
it,
god, I
almost an
know.
entire year.
is that what you're
Yeah.
looking forward to?
I
What's your big
can't
thing?
wait.
You've got a lot of things coming up.
Well, my book coming out is a big deal for me. This has been a
Oh,
three
exciting.
year, but also I've wanted to write a book since the day I can remember having thought in my brain.
Yeah.
So I've like really had this longing for so long, but I started working on it 3.5 years ago. And it's just been such a big experience for me in my life. And I just can't wait till it's out and published. And then I'll be like so
Yeah.
relieved. And I feel like a lot of energy will be liberated for me after this book is
Yeah.
published. And it happens at the same time as Australian Survivor starts
So
airing.
fun.
So I really want to come to Australia. I've spent zero time out there. I want to come
Mhm.
hang with Shawnee. I want
Yes,
to
please
like go to the
do.
pool, drink some margaritas, just enjoy
Yeah.
life and spend some time in
Yeah.
Australia. I think
I'm
that'd be really
actually,
fun.
like, talking to to, like, a survivor, and I'm like, "Can't we do a promo trip to America? Like, this is huge. Let's go to Texas.
Let's go
Like,
to
let's go to
I
New
Texas.
like that.
York." I'm like, "How fun. Like,
Yeah.
let's get on one of those rodeo cows and, like, yeehaw." Like, why
But
can't we do
Shawnee, we
that?
gotta get you at
Shawnee,
Saddle
I think
Ranch.
people will listen to you because you are. I feel like you have one of the what is it? The most days in Australia on Survivor.
Yeah. How many days have you
Yeah.
played?
I think
Not
not
including,
including
Yeah,
yeah.
Australia versus the
don't
world. No,
include
no, no.
Australia.
It's 124 days before Australia versus the world.
Oh, I don't even
So
know how
it's
many
a
days I've
lot.
played. But that's a lot because Australian Survivor is longer than US. It's like 50 days. It's
Wow.
crazy. Wait, I want to talk about you and George because when I was preparing
Who's George?
Mhm.
King George, he's a
King
very famous
George.
Australian Survivor player who has the dad
Oh,
bod in the
oh
promo.
yeah,
Yeah.
cutie.
And he got an immunity idol tattooed on his neck. That's how much he loves Survivor. He's a huge fan, but he's
He's
also
huge.
a real he's known to be one of the greatest strategists
Ooh,
of all time. I think across the board, Australian or US Survivor. But I watched Heroes versus Villains to prep for playing Australian Survivor, and I loved that season so much. And I was like,
Yeah, it was
if I
good.
was Shawnee, I would kill George because he, not to spoil it for everyone, but he really screwed her over in a big way. And
He's
they
a
were
dirty.
tight. And I think you're like a loyal player. Like you play,
like
you find
you.
your allies. Like me, I find my allies. I play really loyal to my people. Would you have turned on him ever? You've probably answered this question a million times, but I need to know.
Well, I definitely like when I think about the whole George situation, it's like, can you really be angry because someone did what you would have done to them anyway?
Yes.
Um, I think with George, he is such a good player and he's so strategic. And um, when he started to gather more other players, less experienced, they're kind of like, yep, sounds good. Yep, sounds good. And then I'm like, George, you can't just say that that person is never going to get immunity and that's not a fact. That's just your opinion. So, like, we need to look at other avenues. And, like, I'm someone it's not my first rodeo, George. Like, so I was pushing back a lot. So I think it makes sense for him if I'm pushing back constantly and we're like having these instances where we're not seen eye to eye, where and then he has other people who are like, yep, sounds good, yep, sounds good. It makes sense for him to go down that path. Obviously, it wasn't good for me, but I always try to think like what makes sense for that person.
Yeah. That's the mark of a good Survivor
Yeah.
player.
But
You
what I
think
didn't
for the other
like was
person.
that he wore my clothes after, and I was like, George, you don't have to rub it in like that.
Yes, I was furious for you in that moment.
I was like, we were still friends. Like, you don't have to be like, ah, ha, ha.
That was really fucked up. Amy, you gotta watch that.
No, she was prepping to go on Australian Survivor, like by watching the links and stuff. So she knows your game.
Yeah.
She knew David's game. She knows, like, so the people that you played with in Australia, like,
I watched their games.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's such a good show. They do a good job.
It
And the
is
characters are
good.
hilarious. Simon from your season, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
so
love him
good.
so much. I
He's
followed
so
him on
funny.
Instagram and he's like, you follow me? I'm like, he's so funny to me. Do you
It's so
have a
funny.
relationship
The
with him?
like the cookie saga, the cookie idol.
No.
It's just so funny because he basically found a clue, which was a token that had a gem on it, and like he just for some reason he just thought, oh, I've got an idol, but it didn't come. It wasn't wrapped up. It didn't have any of the paperwork. It was
Yeah.
just like this token. Anyway, I'm in the jungle and I find a coconut that has a token on it. So then I like kick the coconut to the side, and then underneath is the actual idol.
Johnny
But he's got
finds
the
an idol.
token, and he thinks that that's the idol. So then he like gives it to someone.
Brilliant.
Someone goes to play it, and Jonathan's like, "That's not an idol." But Simon he's seriously like he reminds me of like an excited puppy. He's
Yeah.
really good. Like he's just so funny and like good to be around.
Oh my
So
God.
what is it like? Because in the US, well, I've been in different phases of Survivor, but early phases when people would play the games and the jury would, be like, people were mad. They were so mad about being voted out or betrayed or blindsided. Now it's a different story on the US seasons of Survivor. They seem to all be friends and be okay with the gameplay, regardless of if they got blindsided or whatever. But in early days, people were very upset about it.
Yeah.
So not
People like
everyone
getting
would
like a
hang out.
voodoo doll out. They're like, never
Yeah.
again.
Yes. So what is it like on Australia? What's the vibe check on Australian Survivor post game?
I mean, post game, it's definitely like there's always a group chat kicking about. But it's not very active. And I think that people ask me because Liz from Heroes vs Villains, she is my friend and she's still my friend in real life, but we live like a 50-hour drive away from each other. And people will be like, why don't you ever like hang out with Liz? And I'm like, because she lives 50 hours away from me. Like
Australia is so far away from everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
On
so.
Earth.
I mean, obviously America's huge as well, but it's like after the game, I found everyone quite friendly until it airs, and then people might be like a little bit annoyed
Yeah.
about what's said behind their backs. And like even watching it myself, like I freak out because I'm like, oh God, like that was a funny thing to say, but like I hope they're gonna think it's funny.
There is definitely some stuff I'm worried about airing that I said
Yeah.
about some people. Is there some stuff you're worried about?
There's definitely some really funny scenes that I'm looking forward to. Um, I I feel like this time I'm like not too concerned. I'm like, should I be more concerned? I'm like, wait, what did I say?
I can't wait. We're going to find a
It's
way to
always
watch
like-
it here.
In the moment when you haven't eaten for so long and you haven't had a decent night's sleep, and it's like, I don't know if people know how much Samoa rains. It is like that place is hardly ever dry. It's like living in a swamp. The ground is moist, everything is moist, your clothes are moist. It's like a lot of moistness going on. So, when you're living in that condition, maybe you can say a couple of things that might be a little bit more cutthroat than you intended, but that's just part of the game.
You're living it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
impossible. Okay, so if you had to cast yourself on one show, like your dream show, what would that show be?
I would love to go on. It's like hard because I would love to say The Amazing Race, but then I'm like, how would I bring my family?
You don't.
So I feel like it would need to be something where I'm filming where they could be nearby. So, like, I would love to do The Traitors. I think that would be so fun. Was it fun? What was it like?
You would be great on Traders. I wouldn't call it fun. It's not
Yeah.
a fun game to play for me personally. It wasn't fun to
Mhm.
play, but it is really fun to watch, which is
Yeah.
kind of the opposite of what I usually have when I do games. Because usually I have a really good time playing the game, and
Yeah.
then watching it is difficult for me. But with Traders, I was like, oh my God, that was just, I was shell shocked most of the entire time that I
Oh
was
my
playing.
god.
Because it's so, being a trader is so stressful. It's like you're
Mm.
constantly freaking out, worried about what your face is doing and like who's looking at you.
You got a
My
Yeah.
face was doing crazy stuff.
lot.
You're like,
I
"No,
didn't,
it's not
it was,
me."
I know, I was like, not me. I felt like I was just constantly melting inside my skin. But watching
Yeah.
the game was really fun, and the gays get really excited about it. So it's just
Yes, we
this
love that.
cultural moment. It's really fun. And of course, Alan Cumming is just extraordinary. He's like an iconic
Mm.
figure in the world, in media. So with his fashion and with the rest of the characters that you're playing with, it's a blast to watch and to be
Yeah.
a part of that moment and the conversation of Traders as it's airing. But like you just grit through the
Yeah.
game and then you enjoy
And
watching
then
it.
you get the reward by watching it. I think,
Exactly.
like, Dancing with the Stars would also be good because it's like you're just, like, exercising all day long, and it's like,
Agree. Dream come
you know what
true.
I
Would you
mean?
be my partner? Should we do Dancing with the
Yeah.
Stars together
But I
as
think
partners?
one of us needs to know how to dance.
I'm not good at choreographed
We'll see how she
dances.
does. She's doing a drag show this weekend coming up,
Oh, lovely.
and we practice a little bit on spring break. And she is not a choreography girl, but she is a vibes like feeling
Yeah.
it in the moment
Feel in the
and high
moment.
energy and really
Yeah.
sexy. So I think she's gonna kill it. But Dancing with the Stars, I'd be fun to watch her on because you do have to remember you're
To
dancing with a
dance.
My
professional.
body doesn't do what people tell me to make it do, but I can
Mm.
do. I
She
can,
makes it cool,
Sam's laughing.
but it's her own version.
Shonee, what is your motto for life?
Life
What
is
is
for
your
living.
life is for living? You've said that multiple times. Life is for living. I want to make
It just
t-shirts and
is,
bucket
like,
hats.
I just feel like there's so many things where people are like, "Oh, I don't know," and it's like, I just think, what is the worst that can happen? And even if you think about it, it's like, if it does happen, is it really going to matter in, like, 5 years? Is it gonna matter in 4? And then once you work your way down, it's like, this problem that I'm, like, hypothetically caring about wouldn't even matter next week. So it's like, just life is for living, go experience it. And honestly, like, you just never know. Like, things happen so fast, anything can change. Like, you watch the news and it's like so horrific, and like, I do not like watching that. But you just never know when your life's actually not going to be enjoyable. So you may as well enjoy it and just go and do things.
I'm all for
I
that.
love that.
I'm
I
in
love
your
your
fan
voice.
club.
I want it in my ears all the time. Will you record sleep stories for
Yes.
Shonee,
on
thank
Maybe
you
like,
so
good
much. I
night.
know you're busy, so we really appreciate you jumping
Yeah,
on here
where's
with
Valley
us.
right now?
He's
School?
actually he goes
Daycare?
to daycare 4 hours a week, and he literally makes me feel so guilty about that 4 hours. I'm, like, dropping him off, and he's like, "No." And I'm like, "I've got things to do. I'll be back in 4 hours."
Mama needs
It
it.
doesn't stop. It really doesn't stop. I was prying Alma's fingers off of me
I think
earlier to
I'm
go
a
to a
better mom like when I go to work. Honestly, I go to work. I like working. I get to talk to adults and do things that
Mm,
bring me a little bit of joy. And then I go home and I put my phone away and I am present. Like that for me brings me, like, it makes me a better mom. If I were with them for 24/7, I don't know that I would
yeah.
be as fun or,
But
Mm,
helpful.
Shawnee's like, you are a mom. Like she's super present. She's super into being a mom. She loves a good brunch with
I
her
do.
baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
He's like, he loves, like, going out and about. Like, if we're at home, he's, like, pointing at the door, like, "Let's get out of
ready
here."
to
So I'm like,
go.
That's
"Okay,
your
let's
boy.
go. Let's go to the
And he's a good
beach. Let's."
boy. You like
Yeah.
bringing him out. I have
Well,
two
I
babies
don't
under
like
2.
going to restaurants anymore.
It's impossible. I'm like, how do you do it? I've got
Oh,
2
because
under
he's
2.
just running around stealing people's
Be
forks and
running
screaming.
around and like,
Yeah.
you know, he wants to play with a knife, and I'm like, bro, that's a steak knife. Like, put it
Yeah.
down.
Bro.
That's a phase. That he'll grow out of that. Don't worry.
Okay, Shonee,
Yeah.
where can our listeners find you on Instagram? Are you on Twitter? Like, give us the goods.
I'm on Instagram. It's Shonee Bowtell. Don't really have much time to post that much, but when I
But
do,
when you
it's
do
there.
post, it's solid gold.
It's
Oh,
solid
good.
gold.
Yeah. I know. I've been following you for a while, and it's really fun to watch your stories. I love it because you post about your
Yeah.
baby and your outfits and your brunch. It's what people want to
Yeah.
see. Give the people
Yeah,
what
just
they
a bit
That's the
want.
of
stuff I
life
love to
stuff.
follow. I
Yeah.
love a fun influencer that likes girly things, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I love that you've got this hot, cute husband. You're
Oh,
making your life how you want it
same.
at the beach, and I live for that.
Yeah. And we're excited to see what's next for you, but we know that Australia versus the world is going to hit hard.
Oh my God, it's going to be
And we can't wait.
amazing.
Okay, well, we got to get
thanks for
back to
having me,
parenting. I
guys.
know. She's got her. It's bedtime for our kids right now, so I got to run home and get them to bed. You're going to start
Nice.
your day.
Yeah.
Mama's going to go to bed soon. Okay, well, you guys, thanks again, Shonee. And if you guys like this
Thank you.
episode,
I love you, Shawnee.
like it,
That's Shawnee. We played Australian Survivor.
write comments,
Hi,
give us all the
Amma.
feedback. We are loving doing this, and I hope you are too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.